2020 is a bad year. And what is a bad year without a matching WWE 2K game? WWE 2K20 is regarded as many as barely even playable. But is it really that bad? Well, yes. Yes, it is. This game was so bad that 2K didn't even try releasing WWE 2K21. But is this game really the worst wrestling game of all time? And if it is, does it represent the state of the current WWE? WWE 2K20 launched on October 22nd, 2019, and it became instantly clear what we were dealing with. The game was littered with bugs, glitches, crashes, and everything else that has no place on a modern console. Everyone who bought this game day one was quick to post about just how bad this game was. So needless to say, it sold like Goldberg against William Regal. Forbes said it best. To put it plainly, WWE 2K20 was a failure. To keep sport games relevant for longer, they're often released in the previous year, meaning 2K20 was our first look at what the WWE was going to be like in 2020. So in a way, this was the most realistic video game of all time. If we want to put our conspiracy hats on, we could somehow link this game to the world turning heel. But honestly, the connection isn't there. Or is it? No, it's not. The dates of the game's milestones don't line up with any real-world events that I could find. It does look real suspicious that the worst 2K game just happened to represent the worst year. But even though it literally says 2020 in the name, just like this really cool wrestling video, by the way, it did technically come out in 2019. So it gets a pass. For now. So this game wasn't bad enough to start the apocalypse. And by the way, that has to be the lowest expectation for a game. Even by that standard, this game is still debatable. But back on track. Let's say we remove all the glitches and crashes from the game. What are we left with? The game features a 238 person roster, compared to 2K19's 191, which is actually kind of cool. It allows us to create dream matches like Randy Orton vs. Diamond Dallas Page. Or Mankind versus Dean Ambrose. That's right. You know what? I take that roster thing back. You can't play as Umaga, and I don't even know who Noam Dar is. I probably should, considering I run a wrestling channel, but still, who is this guy? And even if you do want to play as Mark Andrews for whatever reason, it really doesn't make a difference. All the character models look like they came out of an original Xbox game. Just look at it. So it doesn't really matter if you play as Roman Reigns or Jackson Ryder. It's all the same poorly rendered mess. Let's move on to gameplay. Is it bad? Yes. I'm not a gaming channel, so I'm not going to break down the mechanics, but the targeting system is inconsistent at best, and it feels nothing like an actual match. The gameplay is worse than 2K19, so this game was just a $60 downgrade. Now let's get into the heavy stuff. Is this the worst wrestling game ever made? Got an IGN rating of 4.3 out of 10, which is the lowest rating for any console-released WWE game. PlayStation deemed this game broken and gave out refunds for those who bought at launch. So yes, WWE 2K20 is the worst wrestling game ever made. Corey Graves once said, if you ever want to succeed at anything, you gotta fail first. WWE 2K failed. They learned from that. They learned it's better to take time developing a game to its full potential rather than rushing it to meet a deadline. That's why we got Battlegrounds instead of 2K21. They learned from their failure, and they're gonna succeed in the future because of it. Does this game accurately represent the current state of the WWE? Yes. WWE is failing. Every week seems to be a new record low. WWE has failed in the past and they will fail in the future. But they don't perish. They adapt. 2K will release another main series game, whether it's 2K22 or even 2K23. And WWE is going to have another 5-star show in a packed arena again, whether it's in 2021 or even 2025. Even when wrestling is at its worst, it finds a way to succeed, because that is what wrestling is all about. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, it really does mean a lot for a small channel like this. We not only post about what happens in the ring, we also provide commentary on what it's like being a part of the wrestling community, because that is what Wrestling Informer is all about.